welcome to Pros on Cons, where we are in no way professionals, nor do we always talk about cons, but I like the name, so we keep it.
That's what you keep telling me.
That's what I'm going to keep on telling you. I am your Nashville Geek Girl. I'm here with...
I'm your friend Jack.
And today we are talking about a con. Today we were talking about the Middle Tennessee Anime Convention last weekend.
Yeah, it was last weekend.
It's been a while. We like to do these as fresh as we can, but Jack came down with the con plague on Sunday.
I didn't even make it to the con on Sunday. I was dying.
And I ended up with the flu very shortly thereafter. So we've got a late episode. That's okay, because it's a jam-packed episode, because we want to talk all about Mtac.
And Mtac's a big con.
Oh my
Nashville,
God.
at least.
It really is. It's at the Music City Sheraton again, which the GMX was at that. Our last GMX
Yeah, same
episode.
same venue.
I feel like a lot of the cons of this con come from the size of that venue versus the size of the con.
I absolutely agree. You've got a con that was once at a much larger venue.
Yeah.
At the downtown convention center.
Yeah.
And they are now pushed into a building that is nowhere close to that size.
That's a high.
And you still have the same amount of attendees.
Yeah. And I've said it before. If the biggest problem of your con is that too many people want to be there, it's not really a problem. I mean, it is.
It is.
But there could be worse problems. So, we're going to stick to our format because we have a tendency to run off on tangents.
Because we're not professionals.
But the basis of pros and cons is to give you the con from different angles.
Right. Different.
Angle number one, the guests, because that's the first thing you look at. When you go online, you go see who the guests are.
So tell us about the guests.
So the guests at Mtac were voice actor Bryce Papenbrook, voice actor Eric Stewart, voice actor Daryl Gilbo, voice actor Kaji Tang, voice actor Marianne Miller, voice actor Vic... I'm not even going to butcher your name. You see where I'm going. This is an anime con. We expect to see a lot of voice actors.
That's true.
Also, little Karibu, thank you. Robert Schwab.
Yep.
And 50% Dangerous.
Yes.
So those are some perks. I gotta tell you,
But a lot of these are the same people we see all the time.
I was on the Facebook page before the con, and literally there were a handful of people who were out of things for Vic to sign. Like, they'd gotten his signature.
Absolutely.
Like, at this point, they're like, I don't know, sign my cat.
Yeah.
You know, so, and Eric Stewart is a joy and always just high energy and amazing, but...
Great person.
You know, you've got a shallow pool to pull from here. And if you don't start booking these people a year, 6 months to a year in advance...
You can get big guests. You can't tell me you don't have the money to get bigger guests.
It's just about planning. So the guest list, to me, was meh.
Yeah. I gotta call it a little weak.
The crux of doing this job is that the more we do this job, the harder it is to do this job. Because we get to know these con people, we get to love them and care about them, and we know what kind of heart and energy that they put into this. And it's very hard to go, eh.
Yeah. We love these people. We really do. And we mean everything we say with a good heart.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Now, who was there is great.
Great people.
I don't want to down that. We love, like, all of those people were amazing. 50% Dangerous. They're adorable.
They're
we
great.
love them. Robert Schwab is always a joy.
Absolutely.
You know, it was good, but again, kind of meh.
Show me something new.
Something new would be great.
I almost feel like it's virtually the same guest list every year for the last 5 years.
For almost all of the local anime cons.
Exactly.
Yeah. So that was meh.
Meh.
While we're on guests, though, the bands and the DJs were on point. That was always good.
It was and it's consistently good with Mtac. Mtac does their music seem well.
Whoever's in charge of the music is just the
EDM party. Great. Everybody.
Not a rave.
Not a rave, but
yeah, it went really well.
Yeah, it did.
So that's That's a plus.
Courtyard bands.
Courtyard bands were amazing. I saw the Night Sabers play.
Oh, yeah.
There was another band that was out there after them, and I wish I had caught the name because they were super high energy and fun. So yeah, the bands at Mtac are always on point, always great.
Great live music.
Keeps things going, keeps everybody upbeat out there. Awesome.
Absolutely.
Events and panels. Here's where the venue again became the crux of the problem because I didn't get into any events.
Room at capacity.
I was at room at capacity con.
That would not have been an issue so much
if there were bigger spaces.
If there were bigger spaces. Yeah. Also, it could have been handled a little bit better. Count the heads in line
and tell people should count the heads.
Tell people that are past that point, hey guys, this is the cutoff point. You're probably not going to get in. Then I'm not waiting in line 2 hours to find out that I'm not going to get in anyway. I could be doing something else.
Yeah, I did stand in quite a few lines to be told, hey, this room's at capacity. Yeah. Like that happened.
Yeah, that'll make
more
you
than
want to
5 times.
So bad. Yeah.
Now, an event that I did get into was Ned and Ted's Power Hour.
Oh God, that was hilarious.
Ned and Ted are always just a huge beacon of light at any con that I go to. I really enjoy everything that they do, and I'm glad that they're doing more in the local con scene as far as panels and guest hosting.
Getting involved.
And I'm really glad to see them
in the actual event itself.
Absolutely, absolutely. So that's an event that I did get into and that I enjoyed. I didn't make it to any panels. Jack tried to get in to film the cosplay contest.
Couldn't do it.
Just the time constraints of being press at these conventions. I can't stand in a 2-hour line. I need time to set up. I need,
I've got video equipment and you want me to stand in a line with 200 other people.
And I may or may not get in this room.
I may not get in the room. Yeah, I have to have time to set up. And I can't do it while the room's filling. There's no way. I can't. I'll have people tripping over me, my equipment. I can't do it.
Yeah. Organization was a bit of a crux at the early part of the con. The last quarter of the con, that organization was in place and things seemed to be running a lot smoother. Mm-hmm. The problem being that this was Mtac 16. That
means there's been 16 other cons that you've potentially done better than this one.
So people expect a lot more from a 16-year con. They, yes, a con's going to have hiccups, and people will understand that. They're going to be less understanding of hiccups at a 16-year con because they're going to be like, you've had 15 years to figure these things out. So, organization, you have to at least appear organized.
Yeah.
But I know that there was a time constraint issue with the lip sync battle. There were some people who didn't get to perform.
Nope.
Again, that's just, popularity of the con. There's so many people. Yep. The Otaku Ball, I kind of heard, was a bit of a flop.
I heard it was an absolute flop, and people were actually quite aggravated that it was, because they were expecting a lot more out of it.
Yeah, there was not a lot of ball music.
Yeah.
There was a dress code to get in, which is fine, but then, it wasn't a ball atmosphere, and that's kind of a problem.
Yeah, and people were looking forward to that. These girls, they got their ball gowns, and they got their beau or whoever dressed up,
and they're ready
for some fancy
Beauty and the Beast. Yeah. So that was a bit of a flop.
Yeah.
We did say the EDP, the Not a Rave, actually went down really well. And that's a beacon.
And I didn't hear about any problems out of the ordinary, and I didn't hear about any problems that are typically happening at an EDM party.
One event, which actually falls under nightlife, so I'll let you cover it, would be the Risque Cosplay Contest.
And I think that was a beacon of light too. One, the night events were handled fairly well. Just overall.
Yeah, and we'll get to nightlife.
And we'll get to nightlife for sure. But that one in particular is always really fun, high energy, well run, well organized. The people get up there and they have fun. They're in a safe environment.
Robin keeps it.
Robin really makes it happen
smoothly, and she keeps a certain amount of energy in the air.
Well, she's been doing it for a long time, and she knows how to do it right.
She does really good. So that was a good one. While we're on events and panels, the Why Your Anime Sucks panel was apparently a huge issue.
Someone came in and did the panel drunk and then got belligerent, and unfortunately I heard that there were staff that knew that it was going on like that and didn't put a stop to it. That's not okay, guys.
Yeah, that panel probably should have been stopped. Somebody should have stepped in and dealt with that. So we'll just move on. Cosplays. I'm gonna let you take that one.
Cosplays were what you expect from Anime Con to a degree, but they were a little weak this year, and I feel like the cosplay contest grand prize has a lot to do with that at a con.
Right, because I've always said that Mtac is like the pinnacle of cosplay in Nashville. That's where you go to see the best of the best. And I didn't really see that this year. No. I mean, there were some great cosplays. There weren't as many as you would expect from that many people.
There's a huge crowd, and with a crowd that huge, you would expect to see more great cosplays than you did.
You think that has to do with the prizes?
I think if you come with less than $1,000 grand prize to your cosplay contest, you're not going to get the best of the best at all. They're just not going to show up, especially in springtime weather. Yeah. It's hot in these outfits. Mm-hmm. They're also dealing with a crowded venue. I'm sorry to bring it up again, but it is. Yeah. And I'm telling you that these people put their lifeblood into these costumes, and
they don't always get smashed up in those hallways.
They don't want to walk through that hallway and get it tore up. They just aren't going to do it. And I promise you that I heard specifically those words. I'm not going to bring my best stuff and get it tore up walking through these hallways with this many people.
That's a really good point. Again, the crux of the problem, the venue is too small for the con.
Exactly.
One thing that I will cover, the dealer hall and the artist alley. I'm a dealer hall girl. I save up all year for the dealer halls at Mtac and
at the bigger cons that we go
especially to. Especially Mtac. Now, this is one of those points that's really hard for me. But I'm not going to pull any punches. The layout was bad. There were literally points in the main, which was being called the big dealer hall, that if literally members of your staff couldn't get through, maybe you should rethink the layout.
Yeah, don't have choke points in an area that's going to have that much flow.
I know there were more than a handful of anxiety attacks in that back area, and I know that one person at least passed out.
That's scary.
And again, that's from overcrowding, but it's also that dealer hall's not big enough. I mean,
it's just you got to have room to breathe, and you're packing so many dealers into that small space.
Yeah. No, the collection, the things that were offered, and the quality of the things that were offered. The variety was amazing. I love the Mtac dealer hall. They need a bigger space. Again, like they've done, the people in charge of the dealer hall did what they could with what they had, and I absolutely, I know that. But it was a problem.
It was a problem. The lines getting into it. I never made it in the dealer hall because most of the weekends the lines were really just hard to deal with.
And that was another thing, again,
and confusing.
Yes. There were lines to get in lines, and there were lines that weren't lines, and there were lines that were lines, but they're not lines right now. It was very confusing.
It was very confusing,
now,
and I threw my hands in the air.
They did fix it. It did get fixed, and it was running super smooth. But again, it's one of those things where, there's going to be hiccups. People don't expect hiccups from a 16-year con.
Yeah.
You knew you were going to be in that venue for, a year?
Well, and the thing was, it was Crazy Friday, and they should have had the plan ready by the end of the day Friday, seeing what was happening, and made it the rest of the weekend smooth as silk.
Ideally, the plan should have been in place before the con.
Right.
Again, you knew what kind of space you were dealing with. You know what kind of numbers turn out. You know that the dealer hall line is generally an issue as it is.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be anyway.
We're lucky it didn't rain because the line was outside. The majority of the line was outside.
Yeah, you got a good point there. And I didn't see any tents or anything to
kind of keep
sun off people or anything.
There's an adorable little volunteer with pink hair. And I did not catch her name.
Squeaky little voice, but just sweet as pie.
So sweet, and she was trying so hard to keep that line in check. And then there's the guy in the suit with the braided beard. Oh, he's hilarious, and we forgot we were in line. He was so good. That was on Sunday. He was doing so good. I really enjoyed that. Artist Alley. I really loved the layout, and I really loved the artists that were in there.
Yeah, they had a good selection.
But again, like they did last year, they had it in a place that was just lent itself to be turned into loitering. So there was just so many con goers loitering in Artist Alley. It was very difficult to get to some of the tables and to be in there sometimes.
It was very packed the entire time. Even though it flowed much better, it still had a lot of congestion as far as bodies just in that one space.
Yeah. And then the last thing that we want to cover is the nightlife.
And that's obviously my favorite part every time. The nightlife at Mtac is usually pretty good for an anime con. There's a lot of people, there's a lot of socializing. The courtyard area became a very interesting area with, and there was a lot of music out there, which really helped with that being a social area where people were congregating and enjoying themselves. And there was
until about 11:30.
11.
At 11.
11, cut off. 11, closed down, kicked you out the courtyard. 10 till 11, they're kicking you out. It's just how it is.
It's just that venue.
That venue is a little kind of unfriendly towards conventions, but whatever. It is what it is. And I'll tell you that the room parties did get shut down if they got loud.
But TerryCon just got moved.
But we were partying in TerryCon, and we just moved on downstairs and kept on going.
Yeah, that's one of the extra bright spots of Mtac was TerryCon. And
it does lead to one more thing that I do want to mention is that 90% of my fun last weekend was my friends.
And that's something that I wanted to talk about, because anyone that I talked to that was just having a really good time, I was like, oh, that's great. What have you been doing? Hanging out with my friends.
Yep, every one of them.
You paid to stay at this hotel, and you paid for your con to entertain yourself. Yes, that is a huge part of a convention, especially an anime con.
Oh yeah.
That is a huge part of it, and I think it was just that venue being so small, people stopped even trying to go to events.
Yeah. I mean, there came a point Saturday where I just kind of threw my hands in the air and just went, I'm just gonna hang out because that's all I really can do.
That's a pro, though. That's a pro. Is the attendees.
Yeah, the attendees.
The attendees were amazing this year. We brought a brand new first year con goer with us, and Friday I was a little disappointed because I was like, I wanted her to have this great first con experience that the rest of us had, and it just wasn't there. But Sunday we went out, and she was in the courtyard, and she was giving high fives and hugs, and she really got that experience that people get where
the family.
It's just a family. There's nobody out there that you meet that is a stranger. They don't look at you like you're weird. They just come up and you just start talking and you start a conversation like you've known each other forever.
Yeah.
And that's really
that's the beauty of our community.
The beauty of this community, for sure. So that's definitely there. So although there was some cons, and the biggest con of this con was that venue. That venue really drug it down.
Yeah, and I hate to beat that venue up all the time, but to be honest with you, they're just really not very con friendly.
And I know from watching the Facebook page and things that it's a problem. It's not something they're ignoring. They know that the venue
they know that it's too small.
Is too small for them, but just for some reason it's just very hard to find the perfect venue, which I get. While we're on the topic of the Facebook page, I do want to say that Lauren and Jonathan, who have been handling most of the
PR.
Social media PR, have been absolutely amazing.
Yeah, they have, and they've handled everything spot on with professionalism and tact, and I really appreciate seeing that.
Yeah, that's a big turnaround from some previous years.
Oh, big turnaround.
One big pro is that Mtac is so close to being the Mtac that we remember. It is just...
It's right there on
right
the cusp.
there. And I
just need
feel
the
like
right venue.
If they can iron out this venue issue, it can be Mtac again. It absolutely can. They're this close, and they're doing really good.
Guys, you've got to find the right venue, and that's all you need.
And we know it's hard. We absolutely know that it's difficult. It's just hard to balance the amount of people that you have versus how much you want to charge them. They don't want ticket prices to skyrocket.
Yeah, but maybe it's time.
It's definitely time
to raise that price a little bit if that's what you got to do.
The price that people are paying to stay in these hotels for them to not have a very good time.
Yeah, that hotel is fairly expensive.
It's expensive. It is. So, that said, Mtac this year, 7 out of 10?
Out of what they did and what they had, I guess I'll give them a 7. I guess I'll give them a 7.
We're going to give you guys a 7. That's not bad at all.
But to be honest with you, again, most of my good time was the people.
And I had a fantastic time. I did.
And I did.
The people, I want to say that staff is amazing. I think what people most have a problem with, just from following the Facebook page,
Volunteers.
is volunteers, really. And they assume that they're staff. And I know that they're already talking about, you know, a better way to vet and train these volunteers a little better. So they're already on it.
I think they're going to make some changes, and I think that, like I said, new venue. Hopefully, we'll have our Mtac back, and you'll see some really great stuff out of these people.
I'm very excited to see what happens next year. Like, I really am.
Absolutely.
So that wraps up our Mtac coverage. We want to talk about what's coming up this month. I will be at Marble City Comic Con in Knoxville. Jack will be at Catan Con.
Catan Con, and that's a gaming convention.
Yeah, at the Opryland Hotel.
Yes.
So right around the corner. So you guys can come to Knoxville and hang out with me. You can just stay in town and hang out with Jack.
Hang out with me.
We do want to say look for Akai Con.
This fall.
This fall, Akai Con is a growing favorite of ours.
Absolutely.
I want you guys to do me a favor and check out Skydog Con. It's a hacker con, and you really need to look into it. It's going to be later in the fall. It's around GMX time.
And if you go to that con and you don't learn something,
and you're
then
going to
you weren't
love
paying
it.
attention.
You're going to love it. Look into it, guys. Like, take this one on me. I'm taking this one. I will
Skydog.
look into it. And then, of course, with GMX, which is also going to be at the Sheraton. Akai and GMX are both at the Sheraton again also this year. I think they might be okay. But if Akai keeps seeing the amount of growth that it has and that it deserves, they're not going to fit in that hotel another year.
I think that Akai may need to immediately start looking for a bigger venue.
Because again, like, they deserve that amount of growth. That's a really great convention that these people are doing.
They have a great family too.
They do. You guys look for that. And we wanted to say, you know, if there's any angle, if there's a way that you con that we're not covering, like, you know, we're covering guests, we're covering events and panels, cosplays, the dealer hall, the artist alley, the nightlife. If there's a way that you con that you'd like us to also look into.
Yeah, tell us what you're looking for in a con. We want to look at that for you.
So we just want to thank Mtac and all the great staff and volunteers and attendees who make Mtac the amazing con that it really is. It really is. I know that we've given it sort of a hard turn the past couple of years.
Just a little tough love.
But they're having some growing pains. That happens. We're excited to see what you guys bring to us next year. That is Pros on Cons Mtac 2016 coverage. I have been your Nashville Geek Girl.
I'm your friend Jack.
And thanks for watching.
Bye, guys.